Hey YouTube gardeners. Well, I had planned on doing a garden tour on Saturday morning, but that did not happen because my feature Friday that I was going to do on Friday evening, I ended up having to do on Saturday morning because I just got behind on some things. Just life gets in the way, just like it always does, but you know what? That's okay. I was going to wait until this coming Saturday morning to do the next one, but as I have looked around today after I got off work, I just got so excited because things are growing so much. I just couldn't wait another week to show you guys how everything's doing. So I'm going to start out in the garden where my husband has kind of poured out some compost today. That's not real exciting, but the plants are, so we'll hurry up and get past that part and then we'll get to some plants. So my husband has been spreading a little bit of compost today. So we ran out of bags that were over here. I've got some more out by the greenhouse we'll grab and bring over here, but he's going to cultivate all of this in as soon as he gets all of the bags laid out. And this is the bed that we just finished. So I have put some soil in here that's really just some topsoil, and it's really not up to the top enough, so I will add some soil to that. I'll get some topsoil and some potting mix and probably some compost to finish topping that off. And this is where I'm going to put some beans and some cucumbers. This is just a little pot that I have by the in-ground garden, and these are some red potatoes that I have planted. I put 2 tubers in here, and they've already started coming up, and you can see if you look really close. Let's see if I can find one. There's some brown on those where the cold weather got to them a little bit, but they're okay and they're going to come back just fine. Here are the mustard greens that I planted. They started off growing pretty slow, but they're getting pretty good size now. I'll put my hand there so you can see how big they're getting. And these are the Adirondack blue potatoes that I put in this bag. And I can't remember how many I put in this bag. I'm thinking it was 4, yeah. 4 tubers. And this is the potato grow bag that I purchased on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description, so if anybody wants to try them out, they can. But so far it's working out great. I'm able to pick the whole bag up and take it inside when it gets too cold, because these are kind of a rare potato that cost a little bit more than others, and so I don't want to lose these. So when it gets very cold, I've been taking them in, and it's easy to do in this bag. This tall one here is my seedless green grapes. I've got 2 of those. I've got that one and that one, and these got sun scorched a little bit because they were not used to being outside. They had been in the house, and I put them out in the sun and gave them a little too much sun, but they have been growing new leaves since, and they are going to do just fine also. This is my new blueberry plant that was looking pretty amazing until my 3-year-old grandson got a hold of it yesterday and plucked off almost every bloom that it had on it. So when you have grandchildren, you got to keep your eye on them. Hadn't left him in the room probably with them for maybe 5 minutes. That's all it took. And I have also been carrying these in and out. I leave them outside if it's not real cold, but if it's going to get in the lower 30s or probably even the mid 30s, then I go ahead and bring those in, just because they're in pots, and if the roots freeze, I'm afraid it could kill them, so I bring them in. These are a couple things that I actually bought at Lowe's. I got some beautiful flowers, and I did get some Brussels sprouts and some cauliflower. I don't know if it'll get too hot too quick for them to grow or not, but I have successfully grown cauliflower before, but not Brussels sprouts. So we will see. And the rest of this is a lot of tomatoes. That's all this is. These I have been carrying in and out of the house as well. As you can see, some of them are pretty big, pretty good size. But they grew too big for me to be able to get under the grow lights on my shelf, so I've been carrying these in at night if it's cold. If it's not, I don't bring them in. I didn't bring them in last night, and they've done just fine. I love my greenhouse. I think my husband did such a fabulous job on that. Still needs some finishing work, but I still love it. Okay, this I'm getting ready to put in. This is a raised bed. I'm gonna put cardboard down on the bottom and get it ready to put flowers in. I don't know what else I'm gonna put in that just yet. But I had originally planned on putting it beside of the in-ground garden in the other part of the yard. But I really want something taller right there for my rose. So I put it out here, and I think once I get it filled and get some flowers down on the bottom, I think it will be just gorgeous. My beautiful daffodils are starting to die away, the blooms are. And I think I'm going to put those in that raised bed. And this I still have covered up mostly, except for my purple kale that I have growing. It's been in here almost a week. No, actually it's only been out here for about 3 days. And it's doing just fine. I have more daffodils over on that side. And these little purple things were here when we moved here. I think they may be violets. I don't really know. I have a red rose bush there that really needs to be trimmed back. And here are the red Norland potatoes that I planted. And you can see these are starting to grow. This pot is too big to try to carry inside. So whenever it starts getting cold at night, if it gets in the 30s, I have a piece of white plastic that I've just been keeping right here beside of the pot for right now that I just kind of throw over them, and they've done fine. This is the blueberry bush that I bought late in the fall last year. It seems to have come through. It's getting blooms on it now. As long as the cold weather does not zap it, it should do okay. And in here I have all kinds of melons. I've got Kajari melon. I have tender sweet orange watermelon. I have cantaloupe. And you can see how much these have grown since last week, and they have started to flower. And I just brought these out here yesterday. I had no idea they would begin to flower in the house under the grow lights, but they did. So I had to bring them out here and spread them out in the greenhouse because they were just running away everywhere. There was nowhere to put anything else. So these are doing great as well. Right here are the 2 long raised beds that I have. I don't have anything in these yet. This one I used last year. The dirt has sunk down in it quite a bit, so I'm going to have to add some to that. Get the plastic pulled back up to help protect the metal, keep it from rusting. And this one over here I have not used yet, so that one needs some soil in the top of it. All it has right now is a lot of organic matter that we have put in here. Most of it is from a job that my husband done. And I have a purple grape from last year that I put in there. This is a blackberry that I had from last year that I'm going to move. It's too big to keep here at the end of this raised bed. Actually, that was the raspberry. This is the blackberry. And it's showing some signs of life. It's getting leaves on it already. So was the raspberry. But both of those are going to be moved because I think they're too big to keep at the end of these raised beds. And there's the apple tree. I'll get closer. Oh, I'm so glad I decided to get closer, you all. How exciting is that? Oh, it's not going to focus on it really good. There it goes. It's getting a bloom. I'm so excited. I did not know that. And it looks like it's starting to get a couple more up here. That's so exciting. That is my Honeycrisp. And over here I have a Fuji. Let's see how this one is doing. Oh, this one's starting to get some blooms as well. And there's a spider web on that one, so I'm not going to put my hand up there. But they're doing great. I'm really excited about my apple trees. This one's pretty tall. And this is my mulch pile that we made with a lot of material left over from a job that my husband had done. So we're going to let it break down and then we'll be able to use it for mulch. This is just the view from the other side of the greenhouse. It's where both of the raised beds are. The long raised beds. And last but not least, the plants that are left in the grow room under the lights. And there's a lot of them. I leave the peppers inside until it is close to 50 at night. Some of them are tomatoes, but those are not as big as the others, so they're still able to fit under the light. I've got a couple herbs, more peppers. I have beans. I have more peppers and tomatoes. I have soybeans, sunflowers, what else? All in different kinds of flowers. And down here's my cucumbers I'm really excited about. These are the silver slicer cucumbers that I've tried to grow for the last couple years. But somebody originally sent me the wrong seed, and so by the time I ordered more, it was too late in the season to try and plant them. So I'm getting excited about all of this. So it's about time to start getting things in the garden. Those are more flowers. I try to plant some things that are beautiful in the garden and will also attract bees and, you know, all the pollinators. And down here some things that has not germinated yet. And I have more tomatoes in there. That's more of the watermelon beefsteak. I've had a lot of requests for those. I do sell some tomatoes and peppers in the spring. I don't sell a lot, but I do sell some because I get so many requests. But anyway, that's about it. So my favorite thing in the garden right now on this day are these gorgeous flowers. I love the way that they look like roses. They're not roses, and they had different colors of these at Lowe's. It's called a Ranunculus, I think is how you say it. But I'm thinking about going over and getting some more so I can have some different colors in those. But I just love the double blooms on that. They are just so beautiful. So that's it for today's garden tour. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope that you all will see the difference in last week and this week, because I think it's a huge difference. And so that's what gets me excited whenever I start seeing the growth that these plants go through in just 1 week's time. It just really blows my mind how they grow. And so I hope that I have inspired somebody somewhere to grow a garden. Get you a container, dig you a hole in the backyard. It doesn't even matter. That's what we done. We dug a hole in the backyard. You know, we didn't have all of this when we first started out. This has transpired over the course of 3 years. This is our 3rd year at this place doing a garden. We've done one before, but not on the level that we do one now. And so we just seem to add more to it every year. And, you know, even before I had a lot of room, I put a lot of things in containers, because we got a lot of free containers from one of our local landscaping companies. And so I didn't let the lack of room stop me from growing what I wanted to grow. So this year I'm putting in like 20 some varieties of tomatoes, and I'm so excited about that. I can hardly wait. But I hope you all have a good evening. God bless you.